Jai Mahamaya ki jai. Hare Kandashwari Mata ki jai. Bole Baba ki jai. We're going to go on with chapter 13 in book 12 of the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Vedavyasa said, O King Janamejaya, thus I have answered all your nice queries. Also what Narayana spoke to the high-souled Narada is also said by me. He who hears this greatly wonderful Puranam, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, certainly becomes dear to the Devi, and all his actions become fructified with success. Now as regards your mental distress, how you prevent any evil falling to your late father in his future life, I advise you to do the yagya in the name of Bhagavati, and certainly your father will be saved. And you also better take the most excellent mantra of the Mahadevi duly, according to rules, and your human life will be crowned with success. O Rishis, hearing thus, the king said to Vedavyasa and asked him to initiate him in the great Devi mantra and thus to become his guru. He was then initiated duly according to the rules with the great mantra of Bhagavati united with Pranava. When the Navratri period arrived, he called many Brahmins and performed the Navratra so very dear to the Devi according to his state. At this time, for the satisfaction of the Divine Mother, he caused the Devi Bhagavatam Puranam to be read by the Brahmanas, and fed innumerable Brahmanas of Kumaris, and gave in charity lots of things to the poor, orphans, and the Brahmin boys, and thus finished the Vratra. O Rishi, thus completing the Devi Yagya, while the king was sitting on his seat, the Devarsi Narada came there from above, playing on his lute. Seeing him there, all of a sudden, the king got up and paid due respects to him by asking him to take his seat with other necessary things. When the Devarsi Narada became relieved of his labors of journey, the king asked him about his welfare and then inquired into the cause of his coming there. O Devarishi, whence and what for are you now coming? By your arrival here, I am blessed and feel that my Lord has come to me. Now, what can I serve to you? Kindly command and oblige. Hearing this, the Devarishi Narada said, O king, today I saw in the Devaloka a very wonderful event. I wanted eagerly to inform that to you. Hence I have come here. Your father, King Pariksit, met with a bad turn of fate for his bad action. I saw today he assumed a divine form and he was going on a chariot. The Devas were praising him and the Apsaras were encircling him. It seemed he was going to the Devi, to the Mani Dvipa. O king, you performed the Navratri Vratra and read the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. It seems as a result of that, your father has now been rewarded with such a noble and good turn of fate. Now you have become blessed and your actions have been borne fruit. You have delivered your father from the hell, and so you have become an ornament in your family today. Your name and fame have extended to the Devaloka. Hearing these words from the mouth of Narada, the king Janamejaya became very much happy and delighted and fell prostrate at Vedavyasa Devi's feet and said, O best of Munis, by thy grace today I have become blessed. Now what return can I pay to thee save bowing down to thee, O Vedavyasa? I pray that thou dost show some favor to me ever and ever after. Hearing these words of the king Janamejaya, Vedavyasa blessed him and spoke to him in sweet words. O king, now leave all other actions. Read always the Devi Bhagavatam and worship the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. Leave off all laziness and now perform the Devi Yagya with great effort, and you will surely be able to cross this bondage of the world. True, there are various Puranas, the Vishnu Purana, the Shiva Purana, but those cannot compare with 1/16 of this Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. In fact, this Purana is the essence of all the Puranas. How can the other Puranas be compared with this, wherein established the Devi Mula Prakriti? Reading this Purana from the beginning to the end yields the results of reading the Vedas. So the wise person should try their very best to study it always. Thus saying to Janamejaya, Vedavyasa departed. Then the pure-minded Brahmanas highly praised the Devi Bhagavati and went to their own abodes. And the king Janamejaya, on the other hand, began to read and hear always the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam and spent his days happily in governing the kingdom. Now we're going to complete the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam with one more chapter. And this chapter is I believe it's chapter 14. Yeah, chapter 14. So now we'll go back to Sutta, who's reading this Srimad Devi Bhagavatam to the rishis in the Namisa Vana. So Sutta said, O rishis, in days of yore, from the lotus face of the Devi Bhagavati came our Srimad Devi Bhagavatam in the form of a half of sloka, as the decided conclusion for the Vedas, about what she gave instruction to Vishnu sleeping on a leaf of a banyan tree. That same thing, the seed of the Srimad Devi Bhagavata, Brahma himself, expanded into 100 koti slokas. Then Vedavyasa, in order to teach this to his son Sukadeva, condensed those many slokas into 18,000 slokas only in 12 books and named it the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, the present volume. This voluminous book, comprising 100 koti slokas compiled by Brahma, are still extant in the Devaloka. There is no Purana like the Devi Bhagavatam, so merit-giving, holy, and capable to destroy all the sins. The reading of every line yields the fruits of performing many Ashvamedha sacrifices. Human beings addicted to worldly affairs will get the merits of giving lands to the Brahmanas, and they will enjoy also all the pleasures of the world. And in the end, they will go to the region of the Devi, if they can hear, after they have fasted and controlled their passions, the recitation of the Puranam from the mouth of a Brahmana who has been worshipped and given clothing and ornaments and is considered as a second Vedavyasa. Or if anybody writes the whole of this Devi Bhagavatam with his own hand, or gets it written by a writer from the beginning to the end and gives it to a Brahmin, the book placed in a box of the form of a lion made up of gold and cow yielding milk, with her calf, with gold as his sacrificial fire, or if he feeds as many Brahmanas as there are the number of chapters of the Devi Bhagavatam, and worships as many Kumaris with saffron, sandalwood paste, and ornaments, and feeds them with paisam. He gets the merits of giving lands and enjoys all the pleasures of the world, and goes in the end to the region of the Divine Mother. He has no want of anything who daily hears with rapt devotion this Devi Bhagavatam. One who has no wealth gets abundance. Those who students get knowledge. One who has no sons gets sons if one hears the Devi Bhagavatam with true devotion. The house whence this Purana is worshipped, Lakshmi and Saraswati dwell there, leaving their animosities toward each other. By the influence of this Devi Bhagavatam, the Dakinis and other ghosts cannot cast a glance even on its devotee. If anybody gets fever, and if the Sri Devi Bhagavatam be read touching him with a concerned attention, all the complaints disappear. By reading this Bhagavatam 100 times, even more difficult than the severe diseases is cured. If after performing the sandhya, one reads only one chapter of this Bhagavatam with a collected mind, he soon acquires the real knowledge. While going to read this Bhagavatam, first examine omens and then read. I have spoken already on this subject. If during the Sandhya Puja, the autumnal Durga Puja, at the Navratri period, one reads with devotion this Bhagavatam, the Devi Bhagavati becomes greatly pleased and awards him results more than he desires. During the Navratri period, all can read this book for the satisfaction of for his Ishtadeva, his own deity, whether he be of any caste or any persuasion. All can read this for the satisfaction of Lakshmi, Uma, and other Shaktis. The Vedic Brahmins are to recite this daily for the satisfaction of the Devi Gayatri. This Puranam is not contradictory to any sectarian belief. The reason of this being that to whatever deity he pays his worship, he must worship some Shakti or other. This is stated everywhere. So for the satisfaction of one's own Shakti, all can read this without contradicting each other. O Rishis, what more to say on this book than this? That the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam Puranam is the most excellent of all and yields great merits. It is the essence of the Vedas. This I tell you with great certainty. There is not the least doubt in this. Reading or hearing this yields results equivalent to reading or hearing the Vedas. I now bow down to the Devi of the nature of Hrim and established by Gayatri, to the nature of everlasting existence, intelligence, and bliss, who stimulates our activities to the understanding of various subjects. Thus, hearing the excellent words of Sutta, the great Puranic, all the Munis of Naimisavana worshipped him especially, and as a result of hearing this Puranam, gladly became the servants of the lotus feet of the Divine Mother, and they attained the highest rest. The Munis expressed their humility and gratitude to Sutta frequently and bowed down to him again and again. And they said, O Sutta, it is you who have saved us from this ocean of the world. Thus Sutta, the bee drinking and honey of the lotus feet of the Devi, recited before the assemblage of the best of the Munis this Puranam from the beginning to the end, the secret of all the nigamas and full of glories of the Divine Mother Bhagavati. After this, the rishis bowed down to him, and he blessed and honored them. Then he went away to his desired place. Here the Devi Bhagavatam ends and is fully completed. Here ends the 14th chapter of the 12th book on the recitation of the fruits of this Devi Puranam in the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedavyasa. Here ends as well the full trustees, the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Om, 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 Tat Sat, Om, Hari, Om. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.